Okay.
I don't care what it look like, so I'm trying to tell you it's gonna be alright.
Okay.
I cannot do some inspiration and some hope today.
Okay.
It's hard time.
Okay.
Let's go.
From the back to the front, the head of the tail, and we're getting what we want. We're going from the bottom right up to the top. Ain't nobody playing 'cause we can't be stopped. 'Cause in the end, we win. We win.
Let's go.
We win. In the end, we win.
Let's get it. Come on.
What's good, everybody in YouTube land, all across the world? It is your boy, your host with the most smooth teeth, and you are in the midst of another dynamic We Win Sports Talk show. Yes, sir. As we always do, and as we always say, winning is the end game. So if you ain't about to win, don't go in. Yeah. What's up, y'all, man? Welcome back. It's been a couple of weeks, man. We've been away, handling some business, getting some things done. But, man, I missed y'all, man. To everybody out there that tunes into the We Win Sports Talk show, man, first of all, it is appreciated, man. I appreciate y'all showing up because you know what? You could have been anywhere in the city, anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, but you chose to, at some point, lock in with me, your boy, your host with the most smooth T, and check us out on We Win Sports Talk show. So the We Win Sports Talk family, man, we thank y'all for showing up. Hey, man, like we always do, man, look on this corner right here, like and subscribe, comment, share. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. Let everybody know what's going on, man. Let's continue to run these numbers up, man. Let's do what we do, man. I have missed y'all. It's been a lot that's happened. Also, on all social media networks, all social media platforms, look out for your boy at Smooth T, the number 4, real, on all social media platforms. So look, man, without further ado, man, let me just say, how y'all doing, man, out here in YouTube land? How y'all doing, man? I'm good, man. It's been a great few sports days that we've had. It's been some great things that's happened in the sports world. I'm excited about today's show. We got a lot going on. Of course, you know what we're getting ready to do. We're going to recap everything that happened over this past weekend. I got some stuff I want to talk about a couple of weeks ago because you know what? It ain't a real take unless you get it from your boy, your host with the most smooth T. So you ain't heard the real take unless you get it from me. Nah, man, but it's all good. But again, I just want to say, hey, appreciate y'all for showing up, man. We're going to hop into this sports talk that we always do and what we love to do, man. A lot of stuff to happen. Headlining right now. Definitely got to talk about the main thing. That's the main thing that just went down. Whew. Make sure I ain't missed anything before we get started. Nah, that's it. We talking about Super Bowl 59 next. Man, let me just say, we did the preview a couple of weeks ago, and I made my suggestions on who I thought would win and why they would win. And turned out to be a victory for the Philadelphia Eagles. So, a victory that wasn't as close as the score showed it one way, but it really wasn't that close. The score ended up being 40-22. Eagles take the lead. Matter of fact, let's just get into a little, you know how we do here. People always say, what's the difference between a podcast and a show? Because people say, you got a podcast? I say, nah, man, I got a show. Podcast, no disrespect to nobody. It's sitting behind the mic and everybody talking. You just looking at the individual and it's just y'all. On the show, man, I want to interact with everything that we've been talking about. So not only are you listening to me, but I want you to see what I'm seeing so we can talk about it together. So me putting up footage is something that I like to go into just because of the fact that it just makes it more personal, but it just gives it more effect and more dynamic and keeps you more engaged. So let's go ahead and do that right now. We're gonna get into this Super Bowl footage because this was a great game, and we're gonna talk about it a little bit also too. So definitely, few things to say about this game, man. That was dynamic. Was the fact that um, the Chiefs had opportunity to have a three-peat, which had never been done. You know, mind you, Chiefs a great team, good team. Patrick Mahomes is an excellent quarterback. Travis Kelce, great running back. Andy Reid, all-time great Hall of Fame coach. Been in the bowl for the last 3 years, so his career has been solidified. They had him coming up with the names of the likes of Tom Brady, as far as Patrick Mahomes. So this was their opportunity to do a three-peat, and that's what everybody was talking about. It's going to be a three-peat if they win. Although they forgot about one thing, and that was Philly, who was hearing all that chit-chatter about it's going to be a three-peat, and Philly wasn't trying to hear it. Not to mention, the last time that they played, Philly actually could have won that game had the defense showed up, because Jaylen Hurts in the last Super Bowl game that they played, he played an excellent game. He just had one mistake, but he came back from that. Had one mistake, and the defense just didn't show up, and they ended up losing the game by 3 points, 38-35. So definitely knew that both teams had some qualified players. It was just a matter of who was going to show up. And I had felt like the Eagles had a better squad. Offense was more polished, more potent. I felt like a lot of people were thinking about the fact that the Chiefs have been getting a lot of calls this year due to the refs. So they felt like if it's going to be a close game, Chiefs may be in trouble. However, if it was a blowout and the Eagles just get out here and just play and ball out, then you take the refs out of it. So now it's just straight up football. Now, do we get into the conspiracies of what everybody is saying? Because I've heard a lot of them that I'm not even going to repeat, man, because I'm a fan of sports. And I know it's some shady stuff that go on. We've seen it a few years ago with the NBA, Tim Donovan, the referees. So we know there's some shady things that happen with referees. And a lot of people always felt like LeBron get a lot of calls. Mike was getting a lot of calls. Of course, when you're a rookie, you're not going to get as many calls. But a lot of people have also felt that the Chiefs have been getting a lot of calls that went their way. I experienced that myself as a Falcon fan when Kyle Pitts was in the end zone, caught the ball, and was trying to catch the ball, and the guy just literally almost tackled him. And it should have been a pass interference. Chris Collinsworth, everybody who's seen it was like, that's a pass interference, and the refs did not call it. Push right here going down. Ed just had to throw that in. But so I get where people were feeling like if you put it in the hands of the Chiefs and the refs, that Philly would not, have an opportunity. However, Philly came out with a dynamic game plan, a dynamic scheme. Nick Sirianni had his team ready as the head coach. And let me tell you, Vic Fangio and this defense was lights out. I mean, it goes back to a defense that dominated like this was one that was 85 Bears. A lot of people talk about the 2000 Ravens, but one that a lot of people forget about is the 94 Niners when they played against the Chargers. A lot of people forgot about the fact that was a big blowout game also. So you don't see too many teams dominate like this. I can count on my hands in the last few years how many games have actually been a blowout like this. This game was literally won at halftime. Now, mind you, okay, 24-0. So your conspiracy theorists could be like, oh man, it's set up right now that at 24-0, if the Chiefs come back and win, they're going to blow this up for Patrick Mahomes, and it's going to be the greatest win. He came back, the team came back, going to be the greatest win in NFL history, and it would be a three-peat. So Philly was like, we ain't having that. Because, in the back of your head, you hear so many people talk about things like conspiracies and things that can happen. And you're like, man, if all of a sudden, if these calls get sketchy and the refs start playing their hand and the Chiefs start coming back, then you're going to know something crazy. However, that wasn't going to be said because just a key stat in that first half was that the Chiefs never got past the 50-yard line in the whole first half one time. It wasn't until the third quarter that they actually got past the 50-yard line. So the score that you see where it was 22-40, that score that you see, that was literally the fourth quarter, the ending parts of the game. Because there was a point where this game was literally 40-6, which was a huge blowout. Shout out to the defensive line for the Eagles. They put so much pressure on Pat Mahomes. The Buccaneers did it the last time they played with Tom Brady and they won. And like you see right here with this pick six, even when the Chiefs would try to do things to roll him out of the pocket, as you see right here, it made him one-dimensional. So he could only see so much of the field and just totally missed my man stepping in right here for this pick six. So Dejan just totally missed it because the defense was putting pressure on him all day. As a total, defense had total 6 sacks. One more sack and they would have broke the record. As you see right there, just putting pressure. That defensive line consisting of Sweat, Carter, Williams, Davis, Smith. I mean, they put pressure on him. Vic Fangio had them boys ready, man. And the fact that here's the key thing. They didn't rush one time, not one rush. It was just straight up us versus y'all. Who's stronger? Who got the most beef? Who got the most power? And the Eagles just demonstrated this is how you beat up on somebody. What it reminded me of was, and I told you I felt like Philly could win this game, and I chose Philly to win the game. But I played this game on Madden. Y'all know everything go back to the video game, man. So I played this game on Madden. And I do defensive alignments now. Them between me and Big Fangio was I rush. So, but I've played the game and sacked Pat Mahomes by 5 times. But that's video games. So, but when you see what you see out here like this, even right there, just totally missing it, and the linebacker just jumps in, bam, interception. I mean, it was just a showing of just a great defense against a great offense and a great quarterback. But as Jaylen Hurts said, offense sells tickets, but defense wins championships. And moving forward to even this player here going to their offense now, there was nothing they could do. And the funny thing was, Kellen Moore was able to adjust. The offensive coordinator, he was able to adjust because they sold out to say Saquon Barkley is not going to beat us today. Saquon's not going to beat us. He had 25 carries for 57 yards, which averaged 2.3 yards per rush, which as a running back, it's not good. However, they forgot about the one key principle of that offense, which is not always shown because he has so many weapons with AJ Brown and Devontae Smith and Saquon Barkley. And that was the fact that Jalen Hurts says, okay, if you rush me, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take off and run. And I'm gonna show you, you must have forgot. Again, another sack. Another sack. Pat Mahomes is just having a bad day. But Jalen Hurts was like, no, if you rush me, I'm going to sack. If you don't, then I'm going to pick you apart. And even something just back to what you just saw in that defense, even the times, so here we go right here. You rush, bam, I'm gone. I'm just going with the flow. You rush me, I'm gone. But even back to that last play where you saw Pat Mahomes, even when he tried to get away, they had the fast defensive players that could stop him and chase him down. And that's what they did. They were able to chase him down and stop him on defense. And then, like I said, flip side on offense, Philly had the players that could do it. And if you tried to rush Jalen, there he go again. Bam. I'm gonna get you 10 at a time. And a lot of times that's what Pat Mahomes usually steps in at. That's really good because just when it's third and something, all of a sudden he'll get those sneaky 10 yards or 15 yards that'll start a momentum with them. And Philly's defense just totally obliterated that and stopped that altogether. And even though they sold out on Saquon Barkley, still had AJ Brown, still had Devontae Smith, and they still had Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts showed you why he was the better quarterback for that day. And even like I said, in the last Super Bowl they had, where it was 35-38, Jalen would have been MVP of that game. He would have been MVP that time had the defense just held on. So this time the defense, big shout out to them. Big shout out to the defense because they actually said, nope, it's not happening this time. We gonna do what we gotta do. Look right here. Just duck. Can't do nothing. They own them. They own them. But the defense was like, we're not going to lose this game. Because frankly, last time defense lost the game. And even on that play there was a holding call. So the pressure that they put on them, and that's another story. Brandon Graham was back, and this was his last game. Brandon Graham, go blue guy. You know what I'm saying? Last game, and he was able to come back and play this and go out as a champion. Held Travis Kelce to four catches for 39 yards. Pat Mahomes had 257 yards, 3 touchdowns, but had 2 interceptions, was sacked 6 times. Pat Mahomes also rushed for 4 times for 25 yards, which wasn't nothing. And this right here. So the ones that said Jalen couldn't pass, they said he don't know how to pass. I mean, he only had 220 yards passing, 17 for 22. Look at that percentage rate though, 17 for 22. 2 touchdowns, he had a pick. Sacked twice, rushed for 11 times for 72 yards, which is a 6.5 average. So definitely showed up. Devontae Smith, 4 catches for 69 yards with a touchdown. AJ Brown, 3 catches for 43 yards with a touchdown. Dotson, 2 catches for 42 yards. Saquon, 6 for 40. So even though Saquon wasn't there on the running side because they loaded the box up, he still showed up on both sides of passing and rushing because he still had 40 yards rushing. So technically, he had 97 yards of offense, which is still good. Chiefs, on the other hand, rushing game was not there. So what the Eagles do, they say, hey, we're going to be in shell coverage. We doing the cover two. We zoning up, and the only way you got to run them out of that. And the yardage that the Chiefs had, you looking at 3 rushes for 9 yards by Hunt. Pacheco 3 rushes for 7 yards. Perrin 1 rush for 8 yards. The rush was non-existent. Xavier Worthy had a good game yardage wise, but it was garbage time. 157 yards, 2 touchdowns, but it was garbage time by the time they got it. So they had put enough pressure on the Chiefs offense that there was nothing that garbage time was nothing because they put so much pressure on it. You see Jaylen again taking off for a dynamic runner. Like, Jaylen definitely showed that he is a him at quarterback. And a lot of people that have doubted what he can do as a quarterback, what he can do as a leader, and we're going to talk about that later, what he can do as a leader, he just showed it right here. Because like we said, the last Super Bowl, they would have won. They would have won had the defense showed up. So, but the Chiefs defense, they were non-existent. They were non-existent also. So I'm just looking at that play right there. This was another pressure, man. I was like, ooh, yeah, I mean, Pat Mahomes, he'll say that we're gonna show him talking about it, but the pressure that he just was exuded upon on this day, it just showed that Philly was more prepared. And I think Philly was playing with the chip on their shoulder also because of the fact that everybody kept talking about this is going to be a three-peat. It's going to be history. It's going to be history. And they were like, it's going to be history for us. Nah, we're not having that this year. So, and I get it. A lot of people were tired of the Chiefs being so good. Me, I'm a fan of excellence. So I don't have a problem with somebody that continues to win and win. My thing is this: if you want to, stop him, you got to beat him. In the words of Ric Flair, and I've said it before: to beat a man, you got to beat the man. So you were tired of New England winning, okay? Beat New England. The times when the Lakers was doing three-peats, which had the Chiefs won this game, that's a whole nother story. Pat Riley would have got paid because he actually branded that word three-peat. He didn't invent it, but he branded it. And the one who invented it was Byron Scott during their run when he said, after they did the back-to-back, we're going to do a three-peat. And Pat Riley was smart about it. And he said, let me brand that. So every time somebody's three-peated, Pat Riley has gotten paid off of that. When the Bulls did it, he got paid. When the Lakers did, he got paid. And it was already in agreement with the NFL that if the Chiefs win and they start putting out these shirts that say three-peat, that's another check. And he ain't even in football. The business smarts of some people. That was one of them garbage time touchdowns. But he even when he threw it down, that was kind of like frustration. That dude just fast as lightning. But they contained him the whole game. So you don't ever want to give up a touchdown, but sometimes no one's perfect in anything. So he got one. But again, they were already up, so it didn't really matter. So overall, Philly just played a dominant game. Even looking at even more of their stats, like we said, 6 on the quarterback and six sacks. Plethora of teams of everybody just showing up. I mean, it was a game. If people were saying things like, was it a good game? Hey, did you like the blowout? I don't know if I like that game. I know who did like it. Everybody in Philly and everybody in Pennsylvania that was rooting for the Eagles, they loved that game. So if you was an Eagles fan, you loved the game. And be honestly, me as someone that was, I didn't really have a dog in the hunt, but like I said, I was rooting for the Eagles. They're in my top five as far as teams goes. So I was, if the Chiefs would have won, I wouldn't have been mad. It'd have been great. If the Eagles win, I'm even happier because of the fact that we go back to how I feel about Jaylen Hurts being a leader and a good quarterback. And as for someone who went through what he went through at the University of Alabama and then getting benched and then going to Oklahoma and people saying he can't pass and he's showing people that he can pass the ball in Oklahoma and just shut all that nonsense up, then to get drafted and got him in the second round. I was wishing, just gonna be honest with you, I wanted the Falcons to draft him so bad. I did. I was like, man, because I've seen the leadership, man. His father was a coach, so he's always been a consummate leader. He's always held this stuff with a lot of poise and a lot of great demeanor. He cool, you know. He be rocking the J's. That's my petty side. But him being able to get that win, I'm very happy for him. Very happy for Saquon. It was his birthday. What a great birthday present. It was two Eagles that had a birthday. Even the guy who caught the interception, it was his birthday also. So two great birthday gifts. What a great way to turn 28 for Saquon. So it was just a great day. And of course, Jaylen gets the MVP. So it's just dynamic. And just to go into a little bit, let's take it a little bit deeper. Let's see. Gotta make sure you do everything right, because I'm gonna tell y'all about something that happened the last show that I was like, oh wow, all y'all an apology. But here we have
I imagine that this
Little
locker
Stella.
room is going to get as loose as you can get. I would say keep your poise.
little celebration. Little celebration by the Eagles. See Saquon and Jaylen right there. So Jaylen Hurts, someone that has him and Devontae Smith, someone that has won national championship games. As a pro, but also has won games as a college player. So, you know, to win on those levels, that's pretty dope. That's pretty nice. Hold on a second, y'all. Try to pull this up here. You see him winning at we have to make sure, matter of fact, I'm gonna let it go. I was trying to show some footage, but man, I ain't got time to be getting flagged by nobody. And people at Disney came after me last time. So, but I was trying to show this footage of him in college where he had won and just how dynamic he was in college as a running quarterback, but then when he went to Oklahoma as a passing quarterback, and how actually when he had to come in and save Alabama to win the SEC championship and then turn around and get benched for Tua when Oklahoma did his thing. So I'm a huge Jalen Hurts fan, So, and even in the last Super Bowl, one thing he said was, "We will be back." He's like, "We'll be back," and he held it. He held it sturdy with saying that he was adamant about saying we will be back. So, matter of fact, let's see if I can pull that up. Without us getting any kind of hits by anybody. We ain't got time to be having them problems, man. Let's see. This way you have your production people look out for you. So that's further notice to come as we continue to grow. But even the professionalism that he carries with himself. I guess I need to.
I always reflect on the things that I could have done better, things we could have done better to try and take that next step, and that'll be the same process that goes on now.
So that was that Super Bowl, and then we come back to where we're at now with him getting the victory and ending up with the MVP. So, all right, we're gonna stop trying to chop that footage up. They got too many of that other company coming in now. I don't want nobody. Like I said, don't want no problems. So for some reason, if y'all don't ever see this part of the show, that's what happened. So I may start from right here. So I couldn't show that because it may have had something in it from the world of Disney, so we couldn't show it. But if we did show it, then cool, we're good. But moving forward, saw a little celebration. Let's go into a little post game footage. Starting with the one and only. Let's see, pull this up. All right, make sure that's there. Starting with the one and only Patrick Mahomes here. See what he had to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, credit to the Eagles, man. They played better than us from start to finish. We didn't start how we wanted to. Obviously, the turnovers hurt. And, I mean, I take all the blame for that. I mean, just those early turnovers swing the momentum of the game, and then they capitalized on them, and they scored. I mean, they scored on the one, and then they got a touchdown immediately after. So that's 14 points that I kind of gave them, and it's hard to come back from that in the Super Bowl. And so just didn't play to my standard, and I have to be better next time.
Also, let's see. Got something else to say.
Worthy, and I try to reset back and throw it across the field to D Hop and put it in a tight window, and he made a great play on it. And then returned it for a touchdown. And then the second interception, I was trying to throw it to Hollywood, got bumped a little bit, but still can't. Got to find a way to make the throw.
That's another thing.
Hollywood went right.
You just putting so much pressure on him that his linemen were bumping into him because he was just trying to escape.
They played great. There's no way around it. I mean, they played great from start to finish. They got after it. Defensive line played really well. The DBs played well to complement them, and linebackers as well. And so, like I said, I mean, I can't turn the ball over early in the game when it's not going our way, and I'll have to learn from that and try to be better the next opportunity that I hopefully get.
Did you feel more overwhelmed today than you did that day? Is that a fair thing to say?
I mean, both sucked. I mean, there's no way around it. Anytime you lose a Super Bowl, it's the worst feeling in the world. They'll stick with you the rest of your career. I mean, these will be the two losses that will motivate me to be even better for the rest of my career, because you only get so few of these, and you have to capitalize on these, and they hurt probably more than the wins feel good. No, I mean, not necessarily. Losing the Super Bowl just doesn't feel good either way. Anyway, I mean, I was proud of how my team fought this entire season with the expectations that we had on us, but we came up short, and so now it's how you respond, and hopefully that we can learn from this, like we learned from the last loss that we had, and try to continue to get even better, because it's going to take a better football, especially for me, in order to try to make a run at another Super Bowl.
So we'll start right there just for Pat Mahomes. And, you know, to his credit, though, Pat is a great quarterback and has been a awesome quarterback. So one thing about what I like about Pat is that he's when he turned up and he good. And when they're not playing good, he admits it, you know. So and he's humble. Also, I don't see him as a guy that's always thought that he's better than somebody just because he's winning. So I appreciate his professionalism also as a quarterback. And, you know, had they won, I would have been hurt for Jaylen, because I felt like a lot of people would have still been saying, see, he ain't the quarterback the Eagles need. No matter how good he plays throughout the year and no matter what he's done, they didn't give him a lot of flack when they lost the Super Bowl the last time, because you couldn't, because he just showed up and played well. So you saw that it was the defense on the last one. So big props to Pat Mahomes for, you know, he's been a stand-up guy as far as, you know, loss. And truthfully, nobody wants to lose a game, but somebody has to lose. And of course, it's for them to get to that level 3 years in a row, that's hard. You got to remember, like, the Buffalo Bills got a Super Bowl 4 years in a row and lost. And even for them to get back every year, and then when they would get back, you know, teams would be like, oh man, they got back just to lose again. I'm tired of seeing them go in there and lose. But to go the whole year and then go through the playoffs and get to the Super Bowl, that's not a cakewalk, man. So they have something big still going in Kansas City. The league is really in good hands. It's a few teams that's going to be neck and neck between, say, them, Buffalo, Baltimore, Cincinnati on the AFC side. NFC side, you got Philly, you got Detroit, you got the Commanders, San Francisco. So, and I'm gonna say this one in faith. You have Atlanta. We're gonna be all right here in the A, man. We're gonna be all right. So, but the league is in a good shape. You know, just make sure everybody who's playing is playing for the love of the game. But you have some dynamic players, so the league is in good shape. So just to continue with coverage, let's hear from Andy Reid because Andy Reid has been a one of the best to do it as a head coach. And the funny thing was Andy Reid was somebody that was playing against a team that he's the all time winningest coach in Philadelphia history. So for him to be playing against that team that he took to so many conference titles and then even to a Super Bowl that they lost to the Patriots, and now to go to the other side of Kansas City and to have the dominance that he's had with them, but then also he is playing against a team where he spent years at and he is the all-time winningest coach. So let's hear what Andy Reid had to say.
Yeah, listen, he did a good job. The guys battled all the way to the end. Did some nice things at the end, but it was too late, you know. Go ahead. Up there. Yeah, we went a little no huddle. It didn't work as well as we wanted it to. So, yeah, that was one of the adjustments. Yeah, well, we got down. Yeah, so we threw the ball probably more than we would want to going into the game, but felt like it was important that we did that. Just get back in. I don't think so. I mean, it's hard playing in this. I mean, this is a tough game. It's best against the best, and so I think they're more focused on that than they are three-peats and all that stuff. That wasn't a big issue there. Yeah, listen, we tried to. I thought they did a couple nice little things where they, rolled to him, and they obviously knew where he was, right? So yeah.
So there you have a little Andy Reid footage, which, like I said, Andy Reid, man, his position as a great all-time NFL coach is solidified. He don't have to prove nothing to nobody. He got championships. He got titles. He got a lot of players that know he is a great coach that love to be around him. So, it's a tough loss for them. Some people, everybody can't win. So, like I said, everybody in Philly, they happy. So let's check out on the winning side. Let's take a look at a little. Let's start with the birthday boy.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. You dream about these moments as a little kid, and it's just amazing to have your family and friends, and especially your family, been with me through it all, the ups and the downs, and here we are, world champs. Man, big shout out to the defense. They came out and set the tone. We don't win that game without them. And offense, we came out, had a game plan. We knew that the focus was going to be on the run game, and we took advantage of it. We took advantage of it in the pass game. Jaylen came out, played big, and we took a team effort. So coaches, everyone in the Eagles organization, it takes all of us. Man, oh man, she looked prettier in person. I tell you that. You think about it, it's better in person than it is in Madden. I tell you that. Playing as a kid, it's everything you dream of.
Talking about the trophy.
To be able to, hold it, give it a kiss, and be world champs. Thank you. Yeah, hell of a year, right? I couldn't do it without, big boys up front, everyone on this team. And I just appreciate them, the whole Eagles organization of, me being a newcomer, welcome me in with open arms and, helping build confidence back in me too. That was definitely helpful. So it was a hell of a year, but all the numbers and stats or records is cool. But, the best thing is to be able to hold that Lombardi trophy. It took 7 years to get here. Some up and down, some injuries, but coming here and being part of this team, I remember the first time we were in the huddle, and I looked to my left and looked to my right, and you see all the Pro Bowlers and all the All Pros on that roster and on that offense. And the defense, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't know we are gonna have number one defense. It kind of makes sense now because with all the talent that we had, they gave us hell in practice and camp. But it's a team effort. So just year one, and why not start our dynasty now?
Talk about the group you got with yourself, with Jaylen Hurts, Devonta Smith, AJ Brown, your entire offensive line. A lot of talent on offense, and you're fulfilled with the Super Bowl championship.
Yeah, a lot of talent, but the beauty of this team is, we all want to see each other succeed. And when you have, all those guys and all those superstar names and all buy in to that mindset, buy into a team effort, that's how you get it. That's how you become world champs.
All right, that's Saquon's take on everything. Who had a phenomenal season this year? Saquon. You definitely, he was somebody that they definitely had to make sure they pinpointed and tried to stop because he had a phenomenal season himself. And you can't take away the thing that he's done all season at the running back position. Him and Double Deuce over there at Baltimore. Why I'm looking like this? Because I talk about him all the time, and all of a sudden a name just doesn't come and it just goes away. And Derrick Henry, thank you, Holly. Derrick Henry. What him and Derrick Henry have done for the running back position, and running backs like Bijan Robinson of Atlanta, them birds again, yeah. Bijan is a guy. But what him and Derrick Henry have done, man, as far as putting this running back position on their shoulders and saying, no, you need a running game to win the game. So to have a running game, but also have a quarterback, when you have that connected like that, it all starts in the trenches, of course, because you got to have an offensive line that's blocking, offensive line that knows how to protect. But then when you have those skilled guys that can get through and get it done, man, that's a problem. How you think them Cowboys won with that line they had with Emmitt Smith? And the difference between Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders was Barry Sanders didn't have a line. And he was running like a madman. Emmitt Smith was running like a madman, but his madness was a whole lot easier. Like when Kevin Durant went to Golden State, playing the easiest basketball, when I got Clay and Steph over here and I can just throw the ball to y'all and y'all can shoot and we can shoot, how you gonna cover us? So that's the difference between Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders. Emmitt had a line, so when Cat opened up that hole for them and he just went through that thing, he gonna get them yards. But then when you got Michael Irvin and Harper and Novacek and you got Troy Aikman, how you gonna stop that offense? So that's what Philly has. How you gonna stop that offense when you got Devontae Smith Heisman winner, you got AJ Brown, the second coming on steroids, to Julio Jones, Saquon Barkley, a little Mighty Mouse, and then you got Jaylen Hurts, the consummate general at quarterback. So how you gonna stop that? So, with Saquon having 2,005 yards, he has had a great season this year and definitely put that running back position, put that running back position, him and Derrick Henry on their shoulders saying, oh, you need a running back. Everybody was getting into this mode of going into the passing game and saying that the running backs were dead and the position is no good. And, nah, man, they proved it totally opposite and showed that you need a good running game. And that's what helped Lamar. Now, the only thing Lamar needs is some more he needed his Flowers to be back because that's just number one. And if they could get maybe one more guy, I mean, but I don't have a problem with the offense because Flowers, Bateman, and Aguilera, and Derrick Henry, and you got Andrews and my man number 80, the tight end. I always miss his name, but when you got he got some power too. That's why I know they kicking themselves in the head because they should have beat Buffalo and been playing at least for the opportunity to get to the Super Bowl. Now that would have been crazy because that's my worst Super Bowl that I didn't want to see was Baltimore versus Philly because I like both of those teams outside of Atlanta. So to see Baltimore versus Philly in the Super Bowl, I'm like, oh man, that's like your two kids playing against each other because I'm a consummate Lamar fan and a consummate Jaylen Hurts fan. So them two playing against each other, I'd be like, man, that's like Colorado playing Michigan in a game, and I'm like, But in the name of good competition, it would have been a great game also. So taking nothing away from the Chiefs because they've had a dominant run and their run is not over by far. It's definitely not over. But going into some more footage, let's look on the winning side here. We just heard from Saquon. Let's take a look at a little bit of Nick Sirianni, the head coach, to see what he had to say about this victory. Because he's done a stand-up job. He's done a stand-up job as a coach. The Philly organization in itself was just awesome, from the owners to the general managers to everything they're doing. They've just been awesome at what they do and how they go about it. So let's take a look at Nick.
I think a lot of things got blown, kind of 2 and 2. The outside world, has had an opinion on what was going on and everything there, and we just stuck to our process and got better from it. Did some things a little differently, got better from a couple things. I think at the end of the day, you saw this team embrace adversity throughout the entire year. Now, it's hard to say that when you won 16 out of your last 17, but there was adversity. There's adversity constantly. And I think we did a good job of embracing that, the ups and downs of a season, and getting better from the things that we went through.
Middle aisle, second row.
Congratulations, Coach. Can you tell us what went through your head in the first drive when the OPIA flag on fourth down was coming without getting fined, maybe?
We say that one more time,
without getting fined. Can you tell us what went through your head?
I try to tell myself before every game, the calls have a way of evening themselves out. But sometimes in the heat of the moment, sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's hard to convince yourself of that. And the calls had a way of evening themselves out. And so mad about that at the first, but again, these guys are making split-second decisions, and that was an all-star crew out there. They earned the right to be here too at the Super Bowl, and I thought they did a good job, regardless of what I thought about that one. I wasn't able to see everything. I'm a little biased, and I don't think it should be called, but he had a better view of it, so I'm sure he made the right call there.
On behalf of the great people of Alliance, Ohio, congratulations on winning the Super Bowl. What does it mean to you to be the first Mountain Union alum to win the Super Bowl as a head coach? And also, after your Gatorade shower, after the game, you took a moment, looked in the sky, and said thank you. Can you describe that moment for us?
Yeah, just all glory to God. He gives us the talents to be in these situations, and blessed our team with talents, blessed myself with the talent to be able to coach football and the opportunity to be able to coach football. So just gratitude right there. And Mount Union taught me how to win. That's for sure. And so grateful to everybody at Mount Union, Coach Karras, all my teammates there, everyone that helped me kind of develop from there.
Nick, congratulations. Back in Brazil, you told me iron sharpens iron in regards to Quinyon Mitchell being ready for his NFL debut because he went against a your great wide receiver group in practice. Do you think that this was one of the keys to the Philadelphia Eagles becoming Super Bowl champions?
Yeah, I think the key to that point is the intensity at which we practice at. And when you're practicing it with that kind of intensity, training camp, you're getting those matchups, Q versus AJ and Devontae and Slay versus those guys as well. So, and BG versus Lane and Jordan versus, Sweaty and Nolan. And so you have no choice but to get better. And, that it truly is. This is the greatest team sport there is. Iron sharpens iron. I've been saying a lot today and throughout the whole year that you cannot be great without the greatness of others. That applies to coaches. That applies to player to player. Look at the special year. Saquon, has been a special player his entire career, but he was able to make history this year with the things that he did because of the special talents of the guys up front. This is the ultimate team game. And, I know that, and it's just, it takes selflessness to be able to Jaylen said it awesome one time, just because we're not winning a certain way, it's crazy. Sometimes we're answering questions on how we win. It's hard to win in this league. It's a struggle every week to win in this league. And it's just because we're not winning a certain way or the way people perceive that we should win doesn't mean we can't. And, today we needed, the efforts of everybody. So I don't know. I kind of rambled on that question, but you can't, long story short, you can't be great without the greatness of others.
All right, so there's Nick Sirianni. Great job as a head coach this year, man. Definitely love his aspiration and, that he has for not, for being unapologetic about his relationship with God. So definitely love that aspect about him. But just love the job that he's done as a head coach of bringing them guys together. And that's what you want, is a coach that can bring guys together and somebody that, a team, man, they'll run through a building for that coach because they believe in his vision. They believe in the system that he has. So definitely like what he has done this year for Philly. And Philly fans, man, y'all got to appreciate what you got. Everybody doesn't have that same full system that you have. And I'm not even saying it about my team. It's just y'all have a great organization. The owners, the GM, the way he's handling contracts, the way he's bringing in players, the way he's drafting. I mean, it's like Philly live in Athens, the way they be snatching them Georgia, them Georgia ball players. But SEC, a lot of SEC players on their team also, but definitely a great organization. And need y'all fans to dial it down because y'all fans be extra, man. Between y'all ain't as bad as the Cowboy fans, but the Cowboy fans, they just feel like they gonna win a Super Bowl every year, even when they ain't got nothing. But Philly fans, man, y'all be going in on people, man. Like, I seen the way they was treating the Commanders fans that was there. Like, come on, man. Let me go and speak on it because I was rooting for y'all anyway. So if I'm ever in Philly, y'all know I was rooting for y'all, but man, y'all can't be rude to the other fans. I mean, it's all in the name of sports, man. Nobody's getting paid by this but the players on the field and the people in the organization. So I understand that's why they call us fanatic. But man, I'm talking about I seen dudes, they walking in. Okay, that's one thing in the gym and point at them, laugh, yeah. But when you go touching people, snatching their clothes off of them, and now what they supposed to do? It's just him by himself. He want to get his stuff back, but he concerned, am I gonna get jumped in this situation? So y'all fan base, y'all gotta do a little bit better than that. I understand you want to go hard and you want your team to win, yeah. But you gotta be a little bit more respectful because y'all be out there, man. Y'all be out there. So made me feel like I gotta come 20 deep when I'm in Philly when my Falcons play, because I'm gonna wear my jersey. I gotta come 20 deep though. make sure we protect it, so but let's end this segment right here with going into just hearing what the MVP of the game, who I've spoken about multiple times, just giving his props. So let's hear what Jaylen Hurts had to say as we wrap up this segment right here. So let me pull that footage up. Oh, right here in my face. Call Jaylen Mr. Smooth. I mean, I'm smooth, but Mr. Cool, boy. I mean, he be cool as a whistle, man.
Only thing I can think about is all the effort, all the work that was put in over the course of time. And I think we had a focus group out there. You know, offense was able to score points, to take advantage of opportunities, you know, just enough to put points on the board. And then defense played their ass off. They played how they played all year, you know, and I really believe offense wins games, but defense wins championships. And how that defense has been able to play, it's a great testament to them.
Jaylen, how did it feel when the confetti fell to win your second Super Bowl?
Should be second.
Can you tell the truth?
You know, it's been a long journey. It's been a journey of ups and downs and highs and lows, and I've always stayed true to it in the end. And having this vision of just being the best that I can be, and that evolving over time into this desire and this flame inside to win. And you don't do great things without the guys around you. So the effort, the work, always leaning on that, trusting in that, and trusting the process, and staying the course, and sticking to the script.
Hey Jaylen, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
You became only now the fourth quarterback in NFL history to lose their first Super Bowl and then go on to win one. There's been at least 30 guys in their career who haven't managed to do that. I think that speaks to your mental toughness, and obviously even the first Super Bowl, you still played great. What does that just mean to you to hear that out loud, and obviously to silence some doubters, because there have been some throughout the season?
Everything comes with it, you know, and I've always found a thrill in any doubt and any questioning and any opinions. It's always been something that I've embraced, and I don't want it to change now just because of the results. So just running your race and playing with purpose. You know, this is what I'm called to do in this season of my life, and I'm gonna give it all I have and try my best to leave no stone unturned.
Jaylen, was that part of the game plan from the beginning, that you could throw against the Kansas City Chiefs and go long with your receivers?
It was just something that kind of came. It was something that kind of came. You know, I just think it's something that kind of came. You know, we just was able to execute. And I think the main thing I'll point to is you being able to find ways to win in multiple ways. You know, we've been able to be dominant on the ground, and we've been able to be efficient in the pass game and do what needs to be done when it needs to be done. You know, and I think over the course of our year, you guys have heard me say, just because we don't doesn't mean we can't. And when you hear a statement like that, I think it always comes down to, what is your mission? Why are you doing this? I'm doing it to win. You know, I do it to win. This team approaches it just to do the same thing, and that's what it's about. You know, I'm not going to look back at anything and remember anything that someone said about me or an opinion that was had. I'm going to think about the championships that we won.
Jaylen, was there a moment in that game when it kind of becomes like, I'm over here, let's make a statement here, like we're doing this to one of the best teams, best franchises in recent memory?
No. It's about us. It's about us and how we approach things, and it's never getting too high, never getting too low, and just processing it. You know, you got to be able to use these experiences that you've had in the past, because they're all formative for the future. And I think we've been able to do that. I think we've been able to do that. So I give a lot of credit too, man. I think just from a chemistry standpoint, that all those Georgia guys and all the familiarity we have on our team, how that defense plays, they've had that continuity for a very long time, and so I think they've been able to carry that on from Georgia to Philly, and honestly the same thing on offense, being able to build off of prior relationships and be all in on this one thing, you know. And I know Saquon's new to the bunch, but we've all watched him play throughout his college career. We've always known the type of player he is, the best back of our time, and let's put it all together. Put it all together.
Hey, Jaylen, David and Drive with Tico Sport. We saw you having a moment with your family after the win. What does it mean to them having this big win for you?
We'll see. I mean, I know everyone's excited. Everyone has been there along the journey too. You know, everyone's been there along the journey. I think it's been a ride. It's been a fun ride, and I've embraced every step. I took great pride in never backing down from a challenge. Always turning my negatives into positives, turning my weaknesses and making them my strengths. And it's taking great effort and determination to evolve my game over time and just continue to grow and improve. And I know my family's been there every step of the way.
Jaylen, Andrew Greenstein of Louisiana Radio Network. In college, the first time you played for the College Football Playoff Championship, or the BCS Championship, I should say, you lost that game. You were benched in the game that Alabama won. You went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. You didn't come out on top then. You finally come out on top now. Just talk about the perseverance. You were talking about your ups and downs earlier in this press conference. The perseverance now that you have finally made it to the top of the mountain.
It's not normal. So it's been a very unprecedented journey, and the journey's, you know, it's always the beginning until it's the end. And I think it means a lot. Quantifying all that work over the years, embracing everything, taking every challenge head on, and taking every joy and moment of achievement and success head on as well, and processing them all as one.
Hi, Jaylen. Congratulations. So your phone screensaver has been you seeing the confetti drop from the Chiefs.
You know, and when I think about that wasn't even posted. You know, I told them I'm gonna start finding in there. They had their phones out in the team meeting, you know.
But are you going to change it now that you have pictures of yourself in the confetti winning?
I don't know. Maybe it's something I need to stay there so I can come back here.
Yeah. How important, Jaylen, how important was it to jump out to such a commanding lead in the first half against the team that seems to always squeeze out close wins?
Well, I think for us, we were able to win in multiple ways, and it was just really about taking it a play at a time. You know, I look back on previous games and in previous years, and you know, you want to put a high value on finishing, having great focus and finishing. You know, and think about the last time we were in this game. We were up 10 at halftime, and you know, they played a hell of a game to get back into it, and but we wanted to put a high focus on finishing it the right way, and it took a team effort.
All right, that's Jaylen. Also, I wanted to show this, man, because I thought this was pretty dope that Nike did this for him. Well, not Nike, but Jordan Brand was this commercial that they did for him.
That you said he wasn't a top 10 quarterback. Hate that you said he couldn't throw the ball. Hate that he got over when push came to shove. Hate that he always say the right thing.
Money is nice, championships are better.
Hate that in your all-knowing armchair wisdom, you were sure he'd come up short. Hate that you got it wrong.
That was pretty dope. So, hey, that was Jaylen Hurts, man. And again, man, like, you can tell when I have somebody that I really appreciate what they do, because from everything that's been done as far as the quarterback position. Now I'm speaking from an African American aspect on that, because and I go back again, I'm gonna keep talking about it. This documentary that Michael Vick did on Amazon called The Evolution of the Black Quarterback. And he was in that. Pat Mahomes was in that. Lamar Jackson was in that. So these are quarterbacks that understood the struggle that it took to be a black quarterback in the NFL. You could be a black quarterback in middle school, high school, college, but then when it came time to be a black quarterback in the NFL, excuse me, there was a struggle. And they just didn't feel that as African Americans that we could lead a team of men, including our white men, which just, to me, racism is the dumbest thing in the world. And not understanding it's the dumbest thing in the world, because it's just a difference in that right there. Because when we fighting in war and you in the army and it comes down to you being on my team and me versus somebody else, and when we cut between this skin, we all bleed red. So for him to be someone that people doubted, and you knew some of the doubts that were coming, was because he was a black quarterback. The same thing that Lamar Jackson went through, the same thing that Jaden Daniels went through, the same thing that Warren Moon went through, which is why I respect Warren Moon so much, because people don't understand how good Warren Moon was, because he wasn't the average running quarterback in the NFL because he had a cannon, but he was a running quarterback in college and was very successful and set Rose Bowl records, and the NFL didn't want to have any parts of him. And it's like, what? Are you crazy? So for him to not get the love that he should have gotten, and people questioning Jaylen Hurts' ability, and even double backing on Warren Moon, he had to go to the CFL to win titles in the CFL before the NFL was like, oh, this dude can play. And when he came into the league, lit it up, and Hall of Fame. So when you see somebody like Jaylen Hurts, man, who is a consummate professional, he does it the right way. He was coached by his father, who was the head coach and coached him. He went to one of the greatest program, I'm gonna be honest with you, with the greatest college coach of all time, in Nick Saban. And you know, had to go elsewhere because Nick had made up in his mind that it was Tua's time. But then he even went to Oklahoma and balled out, just flat balled out, and was still doubted. But came into the league, he's evolved and worked on his game every year. And the funny thing is, if you go to We Win Sports Talk Show channel page on YouTube, the first show that we did at Hudson Grill was me and a few of my partners. And that segment is called Hurts versus Cousins. At the time, I did not know Kirk Cousins was going to end up being an Atlanta Falcon. He was a Minnesota Viking. Now, Kirk Cousins, in his rightfully way, had been a very successful quarterback, has a great agent. Dude getting him money. Like, his agent is next level. His agent needed a Christmas bonus every year because Kirk has been able to solidify contracts that will have him paid for the rest of his life. And mindful, the debate was, who would you take, Kirk Cousins or Jaylen Hurts? And I was very consummate about saying Jaylen Hurts. And one of my partners was very consummate about saying Kirk Cousins. And he said Jaylen Hurts can't throw. And if you see in that footage, we showed that Jaylen Hurts could throw. And the funny thing was, we didn't know that when we had that conversation, it was before the season started. And then 2 weeks later, the Vikings played the Eagles, and we didn't even know that was going to happen. So I was able to double back on that and then put that up and be like, okay, we didn't know this was going to happen, but look, here's the proof that Jaylen Hurts is a good quarterback and supposed to be in this league. So for him to be who he is as a consummate professional and to carry the team and have a demeanor, like he got a cool demeanor. He got that brotherly love Philly demeanor. Like back in the day, the production duo from Philly, their name beholds me right now. But like that's what it reminds you. He a throwback guy that's just kind of like just cool, but calm under the weather and just, you know, he do his thing, man. So definitely big props to Jaylen Hurts, man, because that's my guy as a quarterback. That's my guy. Him and Lamar, they're my guys. Now, mind you, this is the second time. Let's see. Russell Wilson. Yeah, this is the second time where you had two African American starting quarterbacks lead their team to a Super Bowl. And I told you, had Lamar beat Buffalo, that would have been 4 African American quarterbacks in the conference championships that were starters for the first time in NFL history. But even to have 3 is still phenomenal. It ain't nothing we didn't know we couldn't do. It's just what other people were saying couldn't be done. So, which leads to, since we are in Black History Month, but just the pride of knowing that we as a people can do some great things, and people just didn't want to give us the opportunity to, because everything that we've touched has been golden. Everything we've done has been golden. So just to, on that perspective, to tap into seeing Jaylen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, the Russell Wilson, Geno in Seattle. So when you're seeing these African American quarterbacks and it's funny, so the fact that the top 2 quarterbacks coming into this draft are African American in Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. And now it's funny because we're gonna tell the truth here on We Win Sports Talk Show. Because it's them, they saying this is okay. I'm gonna play the good side on this. I'm gonna play believe the best. They're saying that this quarterback draft is weak. It ain't because of them 2. It ain't because of Shedeur. It ain't because of Cam Ward. It's because of everybody else. So, but it's funny how now, because they're going to be the top 2 quarterbacks to go, you got a lot of people trying to demean what they can do and who they are, which is stupid in itself. But anybody that knows me will tell you, man, I ride. And look, this ain't got nothing to do with me not liking another race. This just got something to do with me knowing who I am and loving myself and loving my race and what we've been through. So I ride for the black quarterback. As long as they good now. You know, we don't have some busts that came through that didn't pan out too well. I'm not going to say no names because we don't want to discredit nobody, but y'all, people know that no sports know the ones that came through and it's like, But the ones that were good. And there have been so many others. And if you go see, again, The Evolution of the Black Quarterback on Amazon Prime by Michael Vick, that is a great documentary, history lesson, man, and being just knowing who you are as a person, as a race, and as what we had to go through, man, the nonsense, man, it's just ridiculous, man. Which leads up to the next part of our show that we're gonna talk about. I did not know it was gonna go that long and that extensive with the Super Bowl, but hey, I ain't seen y'all in 2 weeks, man, so I got to play catch up. So I got a couple more things we're gonna talk about. Now, mind you, one thing people aren't talking about is the fact that even though Saquon, the dynamic year that he's had, there's a reason why he didn't get the MVP, in which we're going to talk about that one right now real quick, was because he had a 2,005 yard season. He could have done more and he could have surpassed Eric Dickerson's record. However, there are 9 other running backs that have surpassed the 2,000 yard season. And one of them that I'm about to talk about real quick is one that people have forgotten. And he actually had a better season than Saquon, and that was Chris Johnson for the Titans. Mr. 4-2 himself. He had 2,006 yards rushing, which was 1 yard over Saquon. And Saquon, he got the ultimate goal. He got the chip. So, man, bonus birthday, living his best life. 2,005 yards, because everybody ain't done it. Everybody ain't done it. But when you have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So everybody that has done it, Barry Sanders, Terrell Davis, all day, Adrian Peterson, O.J. Simpson, Eric Dickerson, Chris Johnson, Jamal Lewis, Derrick Henry, and Christian McCaffrey. So when you've had these players that have done it, he wasn't the only one. Eric Dickerson, let's dive a little bit deeper into that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold on. Rushing. Strike what I said. It wasn't Christian McCaffrey for rushing. So let's just dive in deeper there. Little history dive, because history was my favorite subject. In 73, O.J. Simpson had 2,003 yards for the Buffalo Bills. In 84, Eric Dickerson had 2,105 yards for the Rams. Barry Sanders in 97 had 2,053 yards, which was more than Saquon. Terrell Davis for Denver in 1998 had 2,008 yards, which was more than Saquon. Jamal Lewis for the Ravens had 2,066 yards, ATL guy. Chris Johnson, of course, I just said had 2,006 yards rushing. Adrian Peterson had 2,097 yards rushing. And Derrick Henry had 2,027 yards rushing. And Saquon had 2,005 this year. And who had the most touchdowns in that time? Derrick Henry Terrell Davis had 21 touchdowns in his campaign with 2,008 yards. Derrick Henry had 17. And then you had Eric Dickerson, Jamal Lewis, Chris Johnson for 14, Saquon's 13, OJ's 12 touchdowns, and Barry Sanders 11 touchdowns. So that's one reason why, even though he's had a 2,000-yard season, you haven't seen it since, well, it's just been 4 years. Because Derrick Henry had it, and he didn't win MVP that year. And he played 16 games too. I'm just looking at the games amounts. Okay. Barry Sanders averaged 6.1 yards when he did it. AP averaged 6 yards per touch. So that's the reason why Saquon couldn't get the MVP, was because of the fact that outside of O.J. Simpson, even though he had a 2,000-yard season, not taking that away from him. But outside of O.J. Simpson, who had 2,003, there were 8 other guys who had 2,000-yard seasons that were better. So, but phenomenal season still. But like I said, Chris Johnson had 2,006 yards rushing and had 14 touchdowns to his 13. But Saquon did get the big thing, which was the chip in the NFL trophy. So, like I say, running back is my position. So I love the running back position. When I'm playing the game on Madden or I'm playing college football, I'm gonna run the ball. I'm gonna pass the ball too, but I understand you need the running game to get some things done. So now, with that being said, we win sports family. Y'all help me out right here because I need to know how this can happen. So we know that this was a subject that was close to my heart. Mind you, I'm not going to take nothing away from nobody. Players are great in the NFL. However, when I'm looking at just these stats alone, because on last Thursday, before the game, the MVP was awarded, and it was awarded to Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson, who won last year. Now, when you look at the numbers, not to mention Lamar was first team All-Pro, Josh was second team All-Pro. But when you look at the numbers, now people say, well, if you look at the numbers, then Joe Burrow should, but Joe Burrow wasn't first team All-Pro. Lamar was. And Lamar won the MVP last year. And his stats were better this year, and he played better this year than he did last year. Now, the only thing that changed on here was this one has 37 touchdowns, but they were still progressing. But even right here at this point, you have Lamar with 4,323 yards passing. That's a lot of passing yards for somebody who said that he couldn't play quarterback and wanted him to play wide receiver. And Ozzie Newsome just said, no, I'm going to take him as my last pick of my last draft as the GM for the Ravens. I'm picking Lamar. And he got Lamar. So not only did Lamar have a better completion rate with 68.1 compared to 64, his passer rating of 120.7 was better than the 103.5. He had less interceptions and more yards. And I want to pull up a better graphic, a better picture that I saw that I like better than this one. But not only did he have a better a better season. Now, mind you, it's a couple factors here that I said last time that I think played into the fact that why Lamar, two reasons why I feel like Lamar didn't get the MVP. One is a thing called voter fatigue. I think that when somebody's dominating so much and you see the total yards, his quarterback rating ended up being 119 to 101 and 5,000 yards, total yards. That's rushing and because Lamar had more rushing yards than Josh Allen. Josh Allen had more rushing TDs. However, there's a big difference. Lamar has a better running back than Josh Allen in Derrick Henry compared to Cook in Buffalo. So Josh Allen was needed to score more touchdowns. But when you got that big double deuce down there, and like I say on many shows, people making business decisions on whether or not am I gonna tackle this dude? Because once that locomotive start get going and that 6'6" height, 200+ pounds, get to rolling, that thing choo choo, get to going, boy. They making decisions, man. I got children at home, and you see how that man be giving them grown men stiff arms, be like, you got how Deion used to say on the show, man, that man got kids, and you stiff arming him like that. So that's the reason why Lamar's touchdowns as a rushing quarterback were down was because of the fact that he got Derrick Henry. I ain't got to run as much because I have Derrick Henry now. So I can just do what I do as a quarterback that people said he couldn't play and he still played it. People said he couldn't be a quarterback that throws. Now I'm looking at the passer rating. I'm looking at 45 total touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Now you see why I ride for my black quarterback. Because you got so many people sitting up in like we just saw in the commercial, people sitting in their armchair or sitting on their desk thinking Jaylen couldn't play quarterback, and you got him and Pat Mahomes in that seat, and Jaylen wins the MVP. But then you got Lamar Jackson here, who people definitely from Louisiana. He from the hood, straight hood, got his braids. You know, he speak a little broken English. Then people was giving him flack because of the fact he didn't have an agent and had his mama working with him, and ended up signing a dynamic contract. So I think people fell into a lot of voters fatigue, where you get tired of seeing somebody win so much that you just don't want to vote for them no more. They did it with Michael Jordan, because there's no way Karl Malone should have won an MVP over Michael Jordan, and there's no way Barkley should have won it. Barkley was a great player, but you wasn't Michael Jordan. They did it with Shaq. They did it with Kobe. And truthfully, they did it with LeBron, because LeBron could have easily been an MVP more times than he is now. I'm just going to be honest with you. But because of something called voter fatigue, they just get tired of seeing an individual win and don't want him to get it. So tell me how you can be first team All-Pro NFL. Y'all knew I was going to talk about it. It ain't no take until you get the take from Smooth T. How you first team All-Pro when you not the MVP? Now that don't mean Josh didn't have a phenomenal season. He had a great season. And so along with the voter fatigue, here's another thing I think that happened. The fact that Josh Allen did beat Patrick Mahomes, Lamar didn't. Josh Allen did beat Baltimore, Lamar didn't beat him. I told y'all in the last show, one of my previous shows, I said, man, I think because of the fact that when the Ravens didn't beat the Bills, I was like, this will be a reason why Josh Allen could win the MVP over Lamar. Because of that right there. And that's an excuse for them, the voters, the people of the press that vote, to say Lamar deserves to be the MVP. I mean, Josh Allen, deserves to be the MVP over Lamar Jackson. This is a reason why. However, how they say it, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. And your team was better for those that say, because Joe Burrow had better stats than both of them in certain areas. However, the impact and the dynamicness of what you did for your team and what your team was doing was a difference. So I think Lamar got robbed. I'm just going to be honest with you. I think Lamar got robbed. He should have been the MVP. They got tired of seeing him win it. And I think, frankly, there was some people that didn't want to see this guy who got this gold grill with these braids, who be wearing the skull cap. But Lamar don't mess with nobody. He studied. He's evolved since he's coming to the league. He's gotten better. People said he couldn't pass. He can throw the ball. He is the ultimate weapon for real. Because when he get going, it's a wrap. When he got the wiggle, the ooh, and the throw. So Baltimore is definitely somebody else that's going to be there. I mean, these quarterbacks, it's going to be some dynamicness. So what the funny thing, the traditional pocket quarterback and the pocket passer, it's no more. I think Kirk Cousins might have been the last one. And you saw what happened to him. Everybody else, they got to have some. They got to have some escapability about themselves now coming into this league. And for those that Well, you just be talking about Shador. No, Shador got escapability, man. I've seen Shador score a 25-yard touchdown, and he's done it plenty of times. That's just not his go-to. But my point is, you need a quarterback nowadays that can extend the pocket and move and maneuver. And that's something that Shador can do really well, and he's a very accurate quarterback. So the days of, and Cam Moore can do the same thing. So the days of just sitting back in the pocket and 7-step, 5-step drops, that there's been a shift in that thing. And I'm proud to say that a lot of the quarterbacks that brought in that revolution were African American, from your Randall Cunninghams to your Michael Vicks to your Donovan McNabbs, your Cam Newtons, to your Russell Wilsons, to your Justin Fields, to your Lamar Jacksons, to your Jaden Daniels, and to your Jaylen Hurts. And even Pat Mahomes got wiggled because, like I said earlier, there's some times in the game that people forget because he's such a good passer. And that's what people forgot about Jaylen Hurts. Because he can throw the ball, they forgot he can run the ball too. But Pat Mahomes will sit there and just carve you up. But then when you forget about it and you mess around and you covering one-on-one or you trying to blitz, he can get out the pocket and he can go about them 15 yards. And that's what Shador does. That's what Shador does. Because he can carve you up, but then if that lane is there, man, he'll get gone. I'm not saying he's gonna get a 50-yard touchdown, but he can get the first down and then some. So you need a quarterback now in the league that can do that. So big up to my black brothers, my quarterback that are African American. Now, all right, y'all. I ain't seen y'all in 2 weeks, man. So this the Super Bowl show. We do it big. Plus, technically, this is show number 30. Show number 30. Now, I do have to apologize because one of my previous shows, I did not know until after it was already aired, but it got so many views and so many people were still looking and checking for it. And I appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart for still hanging in and watching the video with your boy. But the one before this last one, where the audio was sounding muffled, it was sounding bad. Man, I did not know, and I apologize. I wanted to take it down, but I had the views in there. So we are committed to making sure we have excellence in everything we do here at We Win Sports Talk. From the audio, I took care of that on my last show, so I know it's good for this show. The camera, I have the better camera. So that's something that's being alleviated, but this is technically show 30. And so I could call that one 28 and a half, and this one 29, and then next one 30. But we dancing around that whole time frame. Because my plan was I was going to bring back some people that had been pivotal with us having some great shows, but everybody's schedule is, but one monkey don't stop no show, so we keep going and we on the road. So, which is why I'm just running my mouth tonight, because I missed y'all. And to build these shows up, you gotta get everything going, get the momentum. But I appreciate it. But sometimes you gotta hold it down for yourself. So anybody out there in radio land thinking I can't hold down a 2-hour show, bruh, we doing it now. And with them, we're going to have callers, and we're going to have people that'll call in and talk with you. So, Rabbit Trail, come back. Bring it back in. So here we go. So now, we dealt with the Super Bowl. We dealt with Jaylen Hurts being MVP. We dealt with a rabbit trail on the running backs that I didn't know I was going to go on. We went on the MVP. But I want to talk about something that's big that happened on the Super Bowl that I can appreciate, that I had to reach out to, because I was going to explain it and, but I was like, you know what? I found out something. Well, not found out. I just seen something better that saved me the trouble. So what I want to talk about right quick is you see on this thing. Well, I'm gonna talk about this Kendrick. I want to talk about this Kendrick Lamar halftime show since we talking about Black Pride and everything that's been going on. I want to talk about it, and I got my man reached out and found Bobby Foster, who did an excellent job of breaking this thing down. So, matter of fact, that's what we gonna get into. Is this explanation? Then we're gonna talk about it because he did a great job with talking about it. So definitely shout out at I am Bobby Foster. Y'all go look him up. Y'all go look him up. My YouTube family, my We Win Sports Talk family. Subscribe to his show. Subscribe to what he's doing. Subscribe to his channel on all social media platforms. He is I am Bobby Foster. That's my homie. But he did a excellent job of explaining this whole thing for those that aren't Kendrick Lamar fans and don't understand. Well, what just happened? Why we didn't see Bruno Mars up there again, and why we didn't see another Rihanna or Christina Aguilera or Britney Spears, or I like that Usher guy. He was really good. Or can I get some Dolly Parton or some Miley Cyrus or somebody? But they brought it and let Kendrick do his thing, and he told you what it was. So, without further ado, let's go into that, and let's talk about it. And instead of me sitting there trying to take notes and just jot stuff down, I was like, you know what, Bobby, I'm gonna let you talk. You talk to the people, and we're gonna comment as we talk. Now it's a little extensive, so this is gonna take us through, but it's good, man. It's a great halftime show because I felt like it was a good show. And some things I even had to get some understanding on because I'm a Kendrick fan to an extent. I'm not like, I feel like Kendrick is a great rapper. He true to the game as far as a throwback style. He was somebody that was raised up in hip hop. So he understands the fact that when you rhyme and you got to have bars. I was very excited about what he did at the Grammys this year. I sat there and watched everything that happened between him and Drake in this whole, battle. I come from a generation of when battle rap was, no, we calling you out. Forget these metaphors. I'm gonna call your name. I'm gonna talk about you, and everybody gonna know I'm talking about you. Ain't gonna be no, was he talking about him? No, I'm talking about you. And he come from that same cloth. So let's bring this up to the stage. Take it away, Bobby. I guess I need to unmute Bobby.
The goal is by the end of this video, people will have a better understanding as to why this performance was so powerful. So let's just hop right in. So the first image we get here is the stadium lit up red, the whole entire thing, which this is a direct reference to the Drake and Kendrick beef, because this right here, while Kendrick and Drake were in the beef, Drake posted this picture saying that he was about to press the red button, as in he was about to and so Kendrick does this, he makes the stadium look like a red button, and he's saying, nah, like this is it, this is game over, as we're about to see at the end of the show. I do want to make a note right now though that this whole entire
All right, y'all, my bad. I had a little slight technical difficulty. So let's rewind this thing and do it again.
The Drake and Kendrick beef. Because this right here, while Kendrick and Drake were in the beef, Drake posted this picture saying that he was about to press the red button as in he was about to end things. And so Kendrick does this. He makes the stadium look like a red button and he's saying, nah, like this is it. This is game over, as we're about to see at the end of the show. I do want to make a note right now, though, that this whole entire performance was absolutely not just about Drake. Drake was actually a symbol he was utilizing to make a greater, larger point, which I'll get to what that is later. So this imagery right off the bat here, we get a PlayStation controller and we get a game loading in the background. You see that loading bar up there. And for those that don't know, this is what a PlayStation controller looks like. Notice the triangle, the square, the circle, and the X. Because that's what we get right here. Triangle, square,
Just for sake of making sure we do this right,
is this.
I want to rewind it one more time.
Red, the whole entire thing, which this is a direct reference to the Drake and Kendrick.
Now we good.
Because this right here, while
I don't mess around and press this button.
In the beef, Drake posted this picture saying that he was about to press the red button as in he was about to end things. And so Kendrick does this. He makes the stadium look like a red button and he's saying, nah, like this is it. This is game over, as we're about to see at the end of the show. I do want to make a note right now, though, that this whole entire performance was absolutely not just about Drake. Drake was actually a symbol he was utilizing to make a greater, larger point, which I'll get to what that is later. So this imagery right off the bat here, we get a PlayStation controller and we get a game loading in the background. You see that loading bar up there. And for those that don't know, this is what a PlayStation controller looks like. Notice the triangle, the square, the circle, and the X. Because that's what we get right here. Triangle, square, circle, and X.
It's your Uncle Sam, and this is the Great American Game.
Now, using Samuel Jackson to personify Uncle Sam is amazing. This is also a callback to Pimp a Butterfly. In To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick was using Uncle Sam in the intro to the album, which he uses as a gateway into talking about different concepts of America. In this Super Bowl, Kendrick is using Uncle Sam to narrate this game that Kendrick is playing in America as a black person. The reason him opening up with this song is so powerful is, one, the Super Bowl is typically where people perform their biggest songs. And Kendrick here is opening up with an unreleased song that he's been teasing. So as his fans, we're excited about it. But I do have to talk about the car that he's on, because it's not just a shout out to his newest album, GNX. GNX is his most recent album, and songs from this album are the majority of the set list that he did. But I want to talk about the car symbolism. So Kendrick posted this right here before his album even dropped, months before, and he was talking about the importance of what a GNX is to him. And essentially, it just means authenticity to him. It means one of one. And when it comes to his Super Bowl performance, that is the essence of the show, is him being authentic to himself and his upbringing and his culture. I like how he did this illusion where so many people popped out of the car, and it's because, you know, they were underneath the stage. You can see how it's feeding into the car right here. I thought that was cool. Now also notice the colors here, red, white, and blue. That's going to be important. The dancers that are in the different
those who don't know, that GNX is debut with
really from each other for the most part. But later on in the show, the colors that the dancers are wearing become a story in itself. After Kendrick is done with Squabble Up, Samuel Jackson pops back in.
Loud, too reckless, too ghetto. Do you really know how to play the game? Then tighten up.
What's really funny about what Samuel Jackson said there is he's representing white America, and it's hilarious that a lot of the critique of the show is exactly what he just said right there. But a big theme of this performance is gaming, okay? You have this rigged game that America is setting up for Kendrick to play as a black man. You got the actual video game stage, and then through the narration of Samuel Jackson, he continues on with the video game theme. And in this moment, Samuel Jackson said, hey, like, calm all that down. You're doing the wrong thing here on this Super Bowl stage. Do something else. Play the game. And instead of taking Uncle Sam's advice, Kendrick goes into humble while standing in the middle of an American flag, symbolizing, hey, I'm not going to listen to what y'all want me to do. I'm going to do what I want to do regardless. Now, with these dancers representing the American flag, we got a lot going on here that's going to start popping up as the narrative here. Yes, you have the red, white, and blue dancers forming the flag here. However, Kendrick Lamar is from Compton, and Kendrick has been very vocal about bringing the Bloods and the Crips together in unity amongst the gangs in LA. So here you have blue and red representing that as well. Earlier this year, he hosted an event called the Pop Out, where the point was to bring LA together for one night. And so, yeah,
A dope concert, by the way.
as well.
Seen that.
Now, these people marching down the steps, I think resembles Tetris because of the shot that they're about to show. So you got the Tetris block there, and then also in Humble, the song he was just performing, he talks about Tetris in there as well. And it goes with the video game theme. It's hard to see, but up here where the lights are, now it says stage 1. And he's going into a song called DNA, which, you know, is the foundation of everything, stage 1. Now notice the guys on the street lamps up here. This is a callback to 2 different Kendrick Lamar moments. One, it reminds me of this image here from his music video, All Right, but even more accurately, it reminds me of this. When he announced his label, PG Lang, this was part of the commercial that he used to announce it. And PG Lang is heavily featured in the Super Bowl. I saw people running around with PG Lang flags, and then also the necklace that he's wearing is the PG Lang logo. So here, after he walked all the way down the field and was doing DNA, the crowd's now saying warning, wrong way. Now in a video game, you get that warning when you cross a boundary in the video game world, and it tells you to go back the other way. You're off the correct path. And if you keep going the wrong way in a video game like that, typically you die, which comes back later in this show as well. Also, he's about to perform a song called Euphoria, which was a song in the Drake beef. And so the idea of saying the wrong way, once again, is a direct reflection also of a Super Bowl set list. Like, this is not a song he should be performing at the Super Bowl. So he's playing the game wrong. So this moment comes back in a big way during Not Like Us. Notice how he's walking down the field, right? And then he's also referencing walking Drake down, as in whooping him. And then notice the poker face with him smiling. That's gonna come back in a major way during Not Like Us.
Dangerously, ain't no changing me, ain't no shaming me.
So that song he's performing is called Man at the Garden. Once again, another song he should not be performing at the Super Bowl, but it was really important for him to do this song. He said it's like the most important song on his album to him because it's a song about affirmation. It's a song about saying that he deserves it all the good things in his life. And I'll just let him explain why it's such a big deal to him.
You know, I've grew up with cats, still to this day can't have a conversation. The most meanest, aggressive individuals, but they can't even look you in the eye and express themselves the way they want to. So they resort to other things. And when I think about that, and I know that I have the tools necessary to communicate myself properly and effectively, I gotta do it for them. I gotta make records like Reincarnated. I gotta make records like Man in the Garden. I have to, because they feel that way, but they cannot project it.
And so that's why he put it on his set list.
Watch your homeboys with the old culture cheat code. Scorekeeper, deduct one life.
Once again, we got that video game theme going. Take away a life, cheat code. And notice how after Samuel Jackson talks about a life going away, he's now performing in the X button because he did the wrong thing. He lost a life. Also, you'll notice that he's going from button to button, which is hilarious because he's pressing everyone's buttons. We're all familiar with that.
And a lot of times when you press the X, you starting over in the game also.
He said peekaboo and popped out.
Ladies, yes, Dad. I want to make a move. For sure. I want to perform their favorite song, but you know they love the suit. What's up? Yeah, that song. That song? Maybe I think about.
Oh, you done lost your damn mind.
And that is why I'm saying this performance is not centered around Drake. And he's actually using Drake.
While we're here, like and subscribe.
For being a part of the rigged game that he faces as a black man in America. Because notice what he brings up is the lawsuit. And this idea of corporate America, of the legal system being used against him to try to censor his artistry, is how Drake is being represented here as a part of something much greater. Because notice how Samuel Jackson also says, you must have lost your mind. And remember, Samuel Jackson is a personification of America. And so the idea of him playing Not Like Us, even though he's being sued, and it's him going against the system, which is why Samuel Jackson said he must have lost his mind. Like, stay in your place, play the game. Now, this is the section where he's about to bring out SZA. And we get that symbolism here with the S, but also this is like Snake the video game. Now, what I think he's doing here, having everybody just walk around the circle continuously, this song that he's performing, All the Stars, was the main song for Black Panther. And I think this is kind of like a circle of life moment because of how Chadwick passed. And that may not be the correct interpretation of this at all. They could just be walking.
But it's pretty good, Bobby.
What I thought of when I watched it. Now notice,
I'll take
all the
it.
dancers still segregated, still separated. You'll also notice that Kendrick is in blue and SZA is in red. Once again, the unity between the colors.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what America wants. Nice and calm. You're almost there. Don't mess this.
Oh no. Once again, it's just really ironic what Samuel Jackson is talking about, because it literally ended up being a lot of the critique of the show. And so Kendrick doing those
They didn't understand it.
songs, slowing it down, getting the singing in there rather than just rapping was what America wanted to see. He's like, all right, Kendrick, you're playing the game. And then he interrupts him with Not Like Us. But let's listen to what Kendrick says before he gets into Not Like Us.
It's a cultural divide. I'm gonna get it on the flow. 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the mule.
So that 40 acres in a mule reference is obviously a very popular term just in America, but also it's another shout out back to Pimp a Butterfly. That was a repeating theme on that album.
It's a cultural divide. I'm gonna get it on the flow.
And that means a couple things. So in this imagery right here, we see the cultural divide in this imagery of the flag literally being separated and everyone turned away from each other. We also see it in all the dancers currently being segregated prior to this section of the song. And when he says the flow, he's talking about the literal Super Bowl floor, like he's showing that cultural divide, but also the flow as in he's bringing rapping to the Super Bowl. And he knows there's a cultural divide on people wanting rap at the Super Bowl.
This is bigger than the music.
So here he's telling you, like, this show is not just about my set list here as far as my greatest hits. This show is about the message I'm putting on display here.
Yeah, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence.
So here he's talking about that game that America has Black people play. They try to take Black culture, but they can't. You can't fake that influence. You can't rig it like that. The idea of rigging what he was supposed to be performing through the lawsuit, like this song I'm about to perform is influential. It brought everybody together. Now remember,
Yes, going
bringing
down.
everybody together part. Remember when he was talking about walking down Drake with a poker face? Well, now he's literally walking down the field, walking Drake down. This is the first time in the whole show we see all the colors together, random, scattered, true diversity, true coming together, no more separation. The world came together to listen to this song Kendrick put out. The LA community came together at the pop out. This song brought people together. I think we all collectively went crazy when Kendrick did that and actually named Drake. Now, the context around this is Drake sued Kendrick Lamar, and people didn't know if this song was going to get performed at the Super Bowl because of that. And then also just with the topic of the song and everything, people didn't know if, the NFL would even let him perform it. And so this moment right here where he just looks directly in the camera, smiles at him, there's that poker face. He walked him down, smiled at him right in the camera. Like, you can't stop me from doing what I want to do. But more importantly, he's not telling Drake that. He's telling America that. He's telling the system that. He's telling the legal system that. He's telling Uncle Sam that. Rebelling against the system, and he's winning. People were wondering why Serena Williams was up there crip walking. Well, Serena was raised in Compton, California, where Kendrick is from, and also Drake had been disrespecting Serena Williams, so it was a way to get her back on stage and kind of be petty, but also, once again, it's a shot at the system because Serena did this at one of her games before. When Serena Williams did that, it received so much backlash. So now, just like Kendrick saying, screw the system, so is Serena Williams.
Let me hear you say,
Now, this is a song called TV Off, right? And let's listen to something he said earlier in the show.
the revolution about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy.
Revolution about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy. This is definitely a direct call out to where we are as a country. It's the right time for there to be a revolution. We're going through things, but you shouldn't have told Kendrick to do it because he's going to be right in your face. I'm not going to hold anything back. And so when he performs TV off at the end, that's the full circle moment. The revolution's been televised on the TV, his performance. Now it's game over. Turn the TV off.
I was telling walking New Orleans with the etiquette of LA yelling.
Now notice right here, everyone's back to being segregated again. And what I think that is that, like I said, Kendrick was bringing everybody together. But the reality at the end of the day is we are separated. We are culturally divided. And so he ends the show that way.
Turn this TV off. Turn this.
And at the end, he says, game over. And to be honest, that has a lot of meanings. The beef is over with Drake. He won the game, even though it was rigged against him as a Black American. And then also, obviously, he's at the Super Bowl and the game is over. And what's hilarious is the game actually really was over at halftime this year. The Eagles were whooping the Chiefs. And then also, obviously, like the very direct, like his stage was a video game and it's game over. And notice at the very end, Uncle Sam doesn't come back out. No need for Uncle Sam no more. And so in short, this show was about Blackness, the Black experience of being a Black American going up against this rigged system that we're a part of. And he made it very clear that he's not going to play by the rules on the level of what his set list should be, on the level of rapping at the Super Bowl, at the level of promoting Blackness at the Super Bowl, at the level of not caring about the corporation, aka Drake, trying to silence him with a lawsuit to not perform this at the Super Bowl. Kendrick's going to be his most authentic self, no matter what any outside influence tells him to do. And in doing so and following that his whole entire life, he ended up winning at the game of life in the way that he sees it. Absolutely amazing show. Absolutely fantastic. This is a Super Bowl show that's so different from the shows we typically get. This wasn't a passive listening experience. This was an active listening experience. Kendrick has always been about storytelling. He's always been about messaging. And I'm glad that he brought that to the Super Bowl, even though it was highly criticized and controversial to do so. Because this type of show will stand the test of time and it will always be in conversation and it will always be talked about. Because unfortunately, in this country, these themes that he brought up, they're gonna be extremely important for a long time. Thank you, Kendrick Lamar. You the GOAT. This was just a
appreciate that, Bobby, Mr. Foster. Also, again, man, shout out. Look him up. I am Bobby Foster on all social media platforms. I wanted to bring this up because y'all know, the petty side of me. I'm an artistic person. Artistic, like I look at colors. That's why I fell in love with Michigan. That's why I fell in love with Colorado. I like colors. I look at certain stuff. I'm a creative. So as a creative, that's another reason why I brought up this part on the We Win Sports Talk show. Not only because it was the Super Bowl halftime show, but also I'm a creative myself. I'm a producer, songwriter, artist, vocalist. So this is what I do. So just talking about this is something that we talk about on a regular basis on my normal day. But I noticed this last night, and even with him having bell bottoms on, and I'm looking, I'm like, oh man. I was like, not oh man in a bad way, but I'm like, I see this right here. I see this little piece right here. And I'm like, that's them primes. I got some upstairs, the same color. I was like, oh man. I was like, that's dope because of Coach Prime. You know what I'm saying? I was like, not only is Kendrick up there doing Black History Month, doing what he's doing about giving his storyline, but he got on them DT Max 96s. So two of my favorite shoes were highlighted last night with Jaylen Hurts having on them 11s and Kendrick having on them DT Max 96s and rocking them. So that's big because as you can see right here, there was an increase of 413% just in a day because of what Kendrick had on last night. That's just influence. So shout out to Coach Prime again on being somebody that's relevant in this time frame and people showing love and just like, nah, man, these shoes, we rocking them. So that was just something to think about with that. So that's my petty. But Also, as we coming to wrap up for today's show, let's see, we dealt with Kendrick. That was a great explanation, man, because me and my wife were talking about it, and I am a showmanship person, so I appreciate things of arts. So seeing that show that Kendrick did last night, I really appreciate it. Now, mind you, like I said, I don't know every Kendrick Lamar song, but I know the popular ones. So when him and SZA came out and started doing their songs, I'm like, yeah, there we go. But it's funny because that's the same moment with Sam. That's what I'm talking about, Kendrick. That's what we want to hear. But it was a momentum to that, because one of my favorite joints is the one he did on that Black Panther. That's one of my favorite joints, especially the part where he'd be like, you know, you entitled. I don't even like you. You know, that's, you know, people being entitled. I didn't invite you on purpose, you know, but that's just a whole nother subject. But that's one of my favorite songs that Kendrick's done anyway. And I heard some people say, like Charlamagne the God, that said something about him doing, he could have done Black of the Berry, could have done a couple of other songs that he had. That would have been dope, because there was some dope songs too. But after taking a second look and just getting understanding on it, like I said, it was a great show to me. I didn't put it as the best show. I really like the show Usher did, because Usher really highlighted a lot of stuff. Plus his body of work of just being who Usher is said a lot. However, a lot of people doubted whether or not Kendrick could hold it down, which he did. And one thing he did, his breath control while he was on stage, man, was phenomenal, man. And he just did a stand-up job showing that he could hold it down, and he took America on a ride and a lesson. So it was funny. I was at a office today, and the lady asked me, "How did you feel about the Kendrick Lamar halftime show?" I was like, I loved it. I was like, it was a message. I was like, it's one people either gonna like or they don't like. A lot of people, if they don't understand it, once you get understanding about how it was, then you'll be like, oh, you can appreciate it, because it was not the normal direct in your face, the song that everybody know we all gonna chant and sing, until it got to certain songs like Not Like Us, you know, or other songs that he did that people knew, Humble. So it wasn't a show that was direct in your face where everybody knows what's going on. You have to pay attention. But that's the type of artist Kendrick is. He's a conscious artist like that, that's always trying to put out a message and also teach you something at the same time. So I definitely can appreciate the artistic work that he put in doing that show. And the choreography was off the chain. And it's funny, while I was actually watching the show, I did not realize that was Serena up there crip walking. Now, mind you, when it got to that part and I seen the person dance, and I said, oh, they jam. I said, oh, there you go, Kendrick. Come on. There you go. But I didn't realize it was her. I just thought it was somebody that was jamming. You know, you seen them in that tennis skirt and them ass, which now it makes sense. The tennis skirt, you know, seat walking. But I didn't put it together. It wasn't until after the show that I saw a IG post, and I was like, wait a minute, I was like, that was Serena. I told him, I said, babe, did you see that was Serena? Because we both was like, man, that person seat walking up there jamming. But I didn't went over my head right there. I didn't even pay attention to it. I was just like, man, they jamming. But the whole history behind all of that and everything, Bobby just explained it to y'all. So instead of me trying to explain it and how I thought about it, I just like, you know what? Let me just get him in his video and put it up, and then I can just comment on what he said, because ain't no pride in me. If somebody can explain it and they've taken the time to do it, that's saving me the trouble. And I can just comment on it. But I thought, again, it was a phenomenal set, a phenomenal show that he did. The choreography was on point. The way they was coming out of that GNX was on point. It was dope. You know, I've seen stuff like that when Snoop Dogg pull up in there in his 6'4". You know, when people do stuff like that on stage, that was phenomenal. So great show. Even the one thing they didn't say, even though that little A also when everybody was saying A minor, you know, and everything that he didn't want to say, the crowd already gonna say it anyway. So that's the beauty of being an artist and people know your stuff, is that when you don't say it, they can say it. So therefore, can't nobody sue him for that. But that's something the industry sold us on, a bill of goods, because back in the day, you know, that's just like when you was growing up. Well, when I was growing up, you fight somebody. If you won, you won, but you wake up the next day and you live to see the next day. You go back, you cool again. Yeah, we fought yesterday. I whooped your tail. They whooped you. You got yours whooped. I ain't get mine whooped, but you know, if you did, you didn't go get a gun and shoot nobody. You know, a la like my man did in Minister Society when Kane beat his behind over Milena. He come back the next week with his boys because he mad because he got beat up, and it was a one-on-one fight. He just got beat up. He the one walked on Kane yard. He the one walked on the floor saying, "What's up, partner? You don't like how you disrespecting my cousin Melina?" And he's like, "Nah, homie, I don't think you know me." And Kane went commenced to wop. You know what I'm saying? It was more like what my man said in Snowfall. Hey, go teach your man how to squabble. Make sure your man know how to squabble. Get some squabbles. Not, okay, we're gonna get the gun and we're gonna take your life. You know, so it was the same thing. You know, in that time frame of, you know, you battle rap and it's over with. You know, ain't nobody dying over this music. Ain't nobody dying because you couldn't squabble that day. That's your fault. Get your game up, and if we gotta go again, then all right, the next time you just win. But that's the era that we came up in. So I can definitely appreciate that halftime show. All right, y'all. So we going in. This is the last little segment, and I gotta do this one because on my last show I highlighted the Unrivaled League for the women of the WNBA as they were in season 1, and I did everything right, and I was getting down to the point to where I was about to show the footage of the games, just to kind of show you a little bit of what it was. And I pulled it up, and I just got to run in my mouth, thinking that I was showing the game, and I wasn't. And I said, "Oh man!" And nobody actually knew what was supposed to happen. You know, it's like I tell people when we doing artist development and stuff, don't nobody know you mess up till you tell them. So nobody knew that they had messed up and that I didn't show it. But I definitely wanted to give them their props and give them their flowers, because now they're entering into they're doing some things where they're doing one-on-one matches that just, I mean, it is phenomenal how they're taking their skill set and their leagues to the next level. So I just wanted to highlight, because one of my favorite teams that I like about them was the Owls, which had Skylar Diggins, and also it has it was Skylar Diggins and also Alicia Gray, Nafessa Collier, who started the league with Brittany, with Lord have mercy. What's my girl name? From Seattle. They call her Big Mama. What's her name? Hold on, let me pull it up, because I when I interview these young ladies, I want to make sure I know it's Brittany Stewart. There we go. I didn't find it, but Brittany Stewart. That's who it is. So them two were the pivotal ones who started the league, her and Professor Collier. So I wanted to make sure that I highlighted it, and I still never got to her page. Shout out to BG, Brittany Griner. She coming to the A. So I'm excited to see what she do with Ryan Howard this year. That's going to be pretty dope indeed. So, but what I did want to do was just kind of revisit and just show what the actual games look like because I talked about it, but I didn't show nothing. And I thought I was showing it, but I wasn't showing it. But then nobody know I was supposed to be showing it. So now I'm about to show it, and now you know I'm supposed to show it. So if you don't see it, then you know it's my fault. But it ain't gonna happen like that this time because I'm gonna show it. Brianna Stewart. I said Brittany Stewart. Brianna Stewart, who plays for the Miss of this team. So who I'm showing right now is going to be the vinyl and the owls. And the vinyl consists of Ryan Howard, ATL Dream, Alea Boston, Ray Burrell, Arike Agwumba Wale, Jordan Canada, and Darica Hamby. And the owls, of course, consists of Skylar Diggins. Hold on. Did they? Yeah, about to say. Cameron Brink, Alicia Gray, Courtney Williams, Skylar Diggins, Shakira Austin, and Nafessa Collier. So just a little kind of show y'all before we get up out of here what I was supposed to show the last time, just to get them their due diligence, man, to give them their props on what they're doing in this league. So here we go right here.
Play spoiler and knock off Lunar Owls. That's one way to start. Jordan Canada, 4-0 Vinyl.
Can't be passed that off Collier on the way up.
Yeah, I won't.
Owls 0 for their first 3, shovel it, and they're on the board. Thanks to Collier.
So hold on. I don't want the let's get rid of that real quick. Don't want nobody messing with us no more. So as you can see, it's 3-on-3 full court. Kind of like how we used to do back in the day when we play full court on side goals. Like instead of playing on the full main court, you play full court on the side goals. And it was still dope because we would be 4-on-4 with that, and you can get up and down faster. But even with this, with being 3-on-3, that's still pretty dope because you're not, you got to move because that 3-on-3, the court is not as big as the 94-foot court that they play on. It's about 20 feet less. It's 72 feet instead of the 94 feet. So it's a shorter court, but you still got to have some stamina to get up and you're pushing it. So, but these are courts that we used to play. We used to enjoy playing these half court games as far as playing on the side goes, playing 4-on-4. So kind of see what they're doing. It's based in Miami, and they got that endorsement by Under Armour. Also got that endorsement, major endorsement by it being streamed by Max and also being seen on TNT and True TV. That's huge because you want to get that play. You want to get that airplay. So these are games, and the girls that came in, they're able to come out here and continue to play ball, make some good money, and not have to go overseas. And you never know. And like I said the last time, this is possible. Shout out to Big Cousin Ice Cube, O'Shea Jackson. Shout out to Big Cuz for that, because when he did his big 3, people didn't understand that how that would be relevant, how the big 3 would it still be relevant. But people definitely still want to see basketball. If you playing ball, you playing ball. And what Cube did with big 3 was take some retired NBA players that still wanted to play but just didn't want to go up and down on the floor, but still could shoot. As you can see, Mahmoud was dominant force in there and got a trigger. So because that's available now, you can see stuff like this, what they're doing with this Unrivaled League. So I give it big props. Give it big props for what they're doing. That's Chelsea Gray right there, who is a baller herself, bona fide baller. No. That was not chips. That was a recap. I'm sorry. But also the Vinyl are coached by Teresa Witherspoon, WNBA legend, basketball legend, period, not just WNBA legend, all-time Olympic legend, University of Georgia ball player, played in the WNBA, but played overseas, but played in the inaugural season of WNBA, had a major play when she played for New York Liberty, winning the game over the Comets, even though the Comets eventually won the series, but she held it up with her half court shot to win the game in Madison Square Garden. And although they would, like I said, they would be knocked out later on, it kept them in the series because Cynthia Cooper was her and Swoops and Turner. So that was the first big big three that the Houston Comets had. Man, they ran that thing. We need to do a show. We're gonna do a show about them Comets, because that WNBA was something serious with them. And I just like their jerseys too, because their jerseys had a lot of personality, like real jerseys. Like then all of a sudden the WNBA went over to these generic jerseys where everybody started having the same type jersey, looking the same, just had different colors, like they was a rec league or something. And they just got back to looking distinct as far as everybody having their own type of flavor. But when they first came out in that 99-2000 season, when they opened up, every team had their own distinct look. So that's when you had your Houston Comets, your Detroit Rockers, your Sparks. All their jerseys looked distinctly different, just like real NBA jerseys and college jerseys. So, but I just wanted to highlight this real quick. We're not gonna keep it long, but just highlight this. That was for the win right there. Them Owls. So, man, it's been a great show. This has been probably one of our longest shows that we had. But I ain't seen y'all in a couple of weeks, and I'm sorry, y'all. But like I say, this is kind of show 30, kind of not show 30, because the other one I didn't like what happened. But man, I just want to say I appreciate y'all for rocking with us, for rocking with me, and being here to support the show. For every subscriber that's there, all 4,200 and some change of you guys, thank you. Because when we started this part of the show back in November, I was just trying to put out some good material because I wanted to just do what I love to do and connect with the people and talk sports, but also just show, hey man, we for real about us doing this. This is what we do. So I definitely wanted to say thank you. I appreciate it. It leads to what we always get to, which is that moment of inspiration for today as we wrap up the show. And it's real simple today. It's real simple. It's real simple. On my shirt today, if you can read it, it says, "I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me." And of course, yeah, it has the Michigan. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me, but gotta represent that gold blue. I believe for Coach Prime. But today I just wanted to wear this because it says something that's, I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. And that's the one thing that I've learned in these past 2 weeks of being busy doing everything else, but I want to continue to put out content that's good, content that is excellent. And that's why every show that we've done, I've tried to make sure that we evolve and get better. Our first show was, hey, I put it out because you got to start. And I wanted to just see how this thing can flow. So as we got better and as we found ways to evolve, when you know better, you do better. And that's one thing that I want to make sure that we do here, We Win Sports Talk Show, is that we continue to give you some good content, some honest content, and we continue to grow as a show. And that's the one thing that I want to make sure that we continue to do and don't stop. Because I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to put out something, just be putting out something. I tell my students that I deal with on a regular basis, they want to put out stuff fast in the industry. And I'm like, no, don't just put out something just because you want to say I got something to put out. But they're like, I mean, I want they can see me grow and appreciate it. I say, no, that ain't how we did it back in the day. I was like, no, you didn't put nothing out until it was ready. And when you put it out, it was excellent. And then when they see you evolve, they see you go from, man, the first album was good, but man, that second album was off the chain. All I say, Boys to Men, when they put out Cooley High Harmony, that album was good. But when they put out 2, oh man, you could see that even though they were good, they evolved, they continue to grow. So that's what I want to make sure we do here at We Win Sports Talk Show, is to continue to put out good material, put out material that makes sense, and put out material that you can enjoy, that you can just sit back and laugh with me, kick it with me. I'm going to be my true authentic self, and I'm not changing who I am because God called me to be the best version of T that I can be for whoever needs to understand that you can be like me or be like this and still grow, and God still love you, and you can still go evolve and get what you need in life. So the moment of inspiration is that I understand that in this whole process of us growing and We Win Sports Talk is that I can do all things, not by myself, but through Christ who strengthens me. And I can't do it without him. And through him, I can do all things. But I appreciate you guys for also taking the time to subscribe, taking the time to like, taking the time to share when you do it, taking the time to talk to somebody. I got people that I've spoken to like, man, I be seeing your show on the stop. Like, did you like it? Did you comment? You know, truthfully, if every one of my friends on Facebook, every one of my friends on Instagram, if they all like, comment, and subscribe, we'd be up there. But you know what? It don't take nothing but a few moments just to press that button, a thumb or a finger, just to press that button and say like, subscribe, good job, T. Or you ain't even got to comment. I want you to comment. I really do. That's interaction. And I really want to get these numbers up because I want to dive into doing the live show here and there. I'm still thinking about how I can do it, just because I do want to interact with people. And when I had my radio show, I was able to interact with people that would call into the show and we talk about it, you know. But right now I'm just putting out material that you can enjoy, putting out material that you can like, and just putting out some good content. But I want to put out content consistently. And sometimes we deal with things in life that try to hold you back. So you want to make sure that you stay consistent, you stay excellent, and you don't give up. But knowing that I don't have to do it by myself. I don't have to do it by myself. I rely on you guys to help as far as liking, subscribing, and commenting, but I rely on Christ, the greater one that's in me, to help me be motivated to do what I do, what he called me to do, which is to reach individuals and help push you and prepare you to your dreams. Because the only one that can stop you is the man in the mirror, and that's you. So hey, with that being said, man, I thank y'all so much for showing up. I thank y'all for rocking with me, for taking the time to even hearing this, even after it drops. Man, it's cold outside in the A. It's rainy. The rain brought in some cold. So while you in that warmth, you know, you can definitely take a look and watch what we're doing. So I just want to say again, thank y'all for showing up. Thank y'all for joining us. We're going to drop again coming up because we have yet to deal with these NBA trades that's happened. And told y'all, you ain't heard the real take until you heard it from me, your host with the most smooth T. So definitely we got to talk about that, and we got to talk about what's coming up in college basketball, because we are a full sports show. You know, we had some topics dominate, but it's because of the season. I only got so much time. However, we got a lot more to go. We got baseball coming up. They're getting ready to hit. These pitchers and catchers are getting ready to go in the baseball season. Yes, I like baseball. The funnest time that I have in live sports right now is chilling at Truist Park on the third base sideline area. That's my favorite section. And at Truist Park, it's so cool. So it's so chill. It's a great atmosphere. But so yeah, we do baseball. We like hockey too. Hockey is a dope sport. If you don't know about hockey, hockey is a dope sport. Hockey is a real sport. It takes a real individual to play hockey. I ain't gonna say real man because I know women can play hockey too. It takes a real individual because hockey, and I'm gonna break this down at another time. There are 11 sports inside of hockey. In that one sport, there's 11 sports inside of hockey. And maybe if you know it, you can comment and we can talk about it later. But NFL, it's a wrap. So people like, oh man, football's over. No, it ain't. It ain't nowhere near over. You got college spring season coming up, but also for those of you, if you love football or if you like football, don't sleep on the UFL. They go into their 4th season and it's some ballers in that league. And it's an opportunity for people to play professional sports, to play football professionally and also have an opportunity to get seen so they can go try to play in the NFL. So don't sleep on the UFL because that's some great football. That's some good football too. I like them San Antonio Barabbas. So I like them, but them Stallions, man, them Birmingham Stallions, they ain't no joke. They are not no joke. So if you haven't had a chance to check out the UFL, if you a football, see, here's the thing. If you a football fan, I understand my team is the Falcons. My second place team and third place team is the Ravens and the Eagles. However, I like football. So if I see a quarterback that can play and is good, I'll watch him. I can go watch a random high school football game with some people I don't know because I like the sport. I like basketball, so I can watch random basketball. I like sports. So if you like football, go check out the UFL. That's a great league, and it's some great action. And for them places like St. Louis that lost the Rams, man, they up in that dome. It's going crazy up in there. So that's some great football that you're seeing on UFL. Also, The Rock, them have done a great job of promoting that thing the right way this time. And I think it's a league that's going to last because it's giving other players an opportunity to continue to play football and to continue to pursue the dream of playing football, which is what we all about, man. Get to your dream, baby. Any way possible, as long as it's the right way. And as long as it's not going to put nobody in harm's way. Get to your dream. So, you know how when you ain't seen somebody in a long time, you just be talking? That's what it feel like we doing tonight, man. But nah, had some stuff I wanted to cover. Also, we got to cover some boxing. I got to talk about the GOAT, Clarissa Shields. This fight she just had this last time where she put them things on old girl. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I got one I've been saving for y'all that I've been trying to get on, but I'm going to get it on. And it's because it's some things that I just want to show, like people ain't never seen that before. So, all right, I'm going to stop babbling right now. So look, man, again, I appreciate y'all for showing up with me. I appreciate y'all for showing up, watching, like, subscribe, comment. Also, on all social media platforms, check out your boy at SmoothT4 Real on all social media platforms. And again, like I always tell y'all, if you ain't seen that Buff Walk video, I know after this year it's gonna be a whole different roster, but hey, your boy put in some work on that thing. So if you have not seen that Buff Walk video, go look at it on YouTube. It's on this channel, on We Win Sports channel. It's a dope show. The music's good, the content is good, but got so much more music coming out, man. So that's just part of what we do as creatives, man. So definitely, again, like, subscribe, comment, share. And this is your boy, your host with the most, Smooth T, Thank you for joining We Win Sports Talk. It's been great talking with y'all, man. Thank y'all for rocking with me again. And remember, winning is the end game. So if you ain't about to win, don't go in. Again, this is your boy, your host, the most smooth T from We Win Sports Talk. Have a great night. Winning is the end game. And if you ain't about to win, don't go in. Peace. God bless.